wondered what was out there in the night sky, stared up at the stars in the hopes of seeing something out of the ordinary? Have you heard unexplainable noises coming from a vacant room, or watched a shadow cross the wall in front of you? Have you asked yourself if there is life after this one, or if you had life before? What about strange creatures that are mythical and elusive? Have you experienced deja vu or felt a prompting to leave because you felt you were in danger? If you have, you were on the fringe.
Welcome to another episode of On the Fringe. I'm Mark.
I'm Pam.
And I'm Jess.
Yay, we're all here.
Yes, I do apologize. I'm fighting a cold. So
darn it.
Yeah, I sound fun and nasally today. So
all right.
Hopefully I don't sneeze all over my microphone and stuff. That'll be great.
Oh yeah, get it all over your camera.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We can examine your snot for bacteria.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it fly. Yeah. Yeah, I apologize. I hope that you're listening on your podcast services and not watching later, because you're getting me with no makeup and in my sweat clothes today because Jess ain't feeling that great. So
I get
but you made it. So yay.
Yeah, I made it. I've got my hot tea and my Kleenexes and a whole list of new Mandellas. So this should be.
We can wave our Kleenex boxes at each other.
We can.
Yay!
Yay!
It's a club.
One that I am proud to not be a part of this time.
Oh yeah,
so far.
Well, Pam.
Knock on wood.
And stuff.
Knock on wood. Well, to get us started, let's go over a little bit about what the Mandela effect is, just as a refresh. This phenomenon, it's something that was named by paranormal researcher Fiona Broom. She wrongly recalled that Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s, and she could remember news coverage of his funeral, even though he later became the president of South Africa. And he didn't pass away until 2013. And she realized that there were others that were misremembering as well. And so she began to study this phenomena of collective false memory. And that's how Mandela effect became. And that's why it's called the Mandela effect, because Nelson Mandela kind of kicked it off. You want to add anything to that? Did I get it?
Well, that's pretty much it. It's just, it seems like every few years or so, we get a brand new batch in. And here recently, Pam and I were actually discussing it the other day, that a whole new group of stuff has kind of emerged. Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk a little bit about the theories on why we think this is happening?
Sure.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, we have several. There's, all sorts of fun conspiracy theories. One of my favorite ones is that it seems like every time CERN kicks up, we get a brand new rash of stuff. And that's because I personally believe that we all have many, many lines, many parallel dimensions and universes that we all reside in. And I think every time CERN kicks up and explodes another line, some of us get to move over. And so every time you move over into a new line, everything is pretty much the same, but there's a few things that aren't quite right. And your old conscious is still trying to catch up to this new line. So that's what I think Mandelas are.
How I like to explain that to people, because I have people look at me like, you're crazy. I said, well, okay, so if we've got an infinite number, how many souls do you have? You have one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got all these different timelines where you exist. Each one of them doesn't have a soul. You all share that same soul. And so if your consciousness is riding in this timeline, the other one is kind of moving along and on autopilot. These are the things that could have happened.
NPCs.
Yeah, we're all NPCs. And then something happens and your consciousness jumps over into that other timeline. And I don't think you necessarily have to die to move over there, because there's been a couple times where I've had some really weird shit happen, and then everybody tells me the next day or so, "Oh, that never happened."
Hmm. I think it may be a very good excuse for deja vu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
You shift a line, and in that line, it's a little bit further ahead than what you
Or
were, or a
behind,
little
yeah.
further
Could be.
behind. Yeah.
Could be.
Because I mean, I remember I had such a scary. A lot of you folks have probably heard me tell this. When I was in grade school, I had one that was so clear. I turned to my friend and said, "Didn't we do this yesterday?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, the principal's getting ready to say this, this, and this." And he goes, "You're crazy." And then he said, "This is." My friend got like, "How'd you know that?" Because we did it yesterday.
Enzo's in the chat. He said the death of Harambe in 2016 caused us to jump to the stupid timeline. The death of Peanut and Fred brought us out of it.
I don't know. We're humans. We're probably all still in the stupid timeline. I'm sorry, Enzo.
And he also said it's pre-Thanksgiving. That means this is on the fridge.
On the fridge?
On the
Okay.
fridge.
Oh.
That's a good one.
In the
Yeah.
fridge? It's in the
Yeah.
fridge.
In the
There you
fridge
go.
would be better. Yeah.
Raiding the fridge.
Too funny. Raiding the fridge. Filling the fridge right now.
Yep. So you guys ready to
Fun.
make all your specialty dishes?
Oh Lord. I'm not ready to do anything right now. I just want to climb under my pillow.
Well, I'm going to my
Don't smother yourself.
son's.
Stop.
I'm going to Eric's, and I asked him what he wanted to do, and he was like, at first I thought we were probably going to go out and eat, and then he's like, no, I want to do the whole Thanksgiving that we do. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, can you send me recipes for your turkey and your dressing and stuff? Yeah, absolutely. I send it to him, and he's like, oh crap, Mom, I don't have anywhere to store a turkey. And I was like, do you want me to bring the turkey? Yeah, could you do that? And I was like, sure. And he's like, how do you make the dressing? Would you like me to make the dressing too? That'd be great, Mom. So I'm gonna make the turkey and dressing and take it out. But he's making all the sides. I already went and bought everything for the sides. So
Oh,
Well,
cool.
I'm okay with that. That's the easy stuff.
Get
So-
ready to make
Well,
everything.
you don't want the turkey to be too dry. You had best take charge of it.
He knows
Yeah,
how to
you
cook
could-
a turkey.
You could end up with a turkey like from National Lampoon.
Oh, take a whole bunch of water.
Dipping it in your drink.
Too funny. He's done really good, so we'll see. He went and bought everything to make all the sides, and then he hates sour cream, and one of his favorite desserts has sour cream in it. We've never told him that because he would not eat it. And so he was like, can you send me the recipe for Nana's cranberry fluff? I said, sure, but you'll never eat it again. And he was like, why? And I said it, and he's like, it's a lie. It's all lies. No, it really has sour cream in it. He's like, I'm still gonna eat it, but I'm gonna know.
That's funny.
Get over
Oh,
it, dude.
poor
Chris
kid.
says, hey.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
That's funny.
All
How many
right.
people realize what's in the green bean casserole? I mean, it's like I know a lot of people hate mushroom soup, but they like the green bean casserole.
Yep.
So
Can't have one
It's
without
like
the
those
other.
weirdos who hate onions, but they love onion rings. I don't get it.
Gunner's onion rings.
Oh, they were good.
They were so good.
I told you guys they're a good
You
place
were
to
not
eat.
kidding. So if you're ever in Sedan, Kansas, go eat at Gunner's Bourbon and Tavern. It's so good. Or Distillery and Tavern. I can't remember what they call it. It's Gunner's, downtown Sedan. So good.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
good.
gosh. I had I think it was called the cowboy burger. So
Oh yeah.
it had homemade bourbon barbecue sauce on it
Ooh.
with smoked cheddar and onion rings. Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. The onion rings were on the burger. It was delicious.
Oh, yeah.
I got just, a chicken sandwich, and I'm like, a chicken sandwich is a chicken. No, it was so good. And the onion rings were so good.
I've had the whatever chicken dish it is they have that's got the bourbon balsamic sauce.
Yeah.
You could put
I
that
almost tried that.
you could put that stuff on a piece of cardboard and might be the best thing you've ever eaten.
That's so funny.
So
Cool, cool.
we're kind of getting off track, but I love food. Food's good.
Yeah.
Little squirrely tonight.
I'm so off track. I freaked out a little while ago when I was trying to get everything gathered up for this because I was like, crap, I don't have the word of the week done up. And then it dawned on me later that we
Wrong
aren't
show.
even doing Bordertown
Wrong
Strange
podcast.
tonight. This is the
Wrong
Fringe.
podcast, dear.
Yeah, and then it dawned on me, even if it was Bordertown Strange,
It's my
tonight,
turn.
it's not even my turn. I was like, because I was freaking out. I was like, "Where's my intro, outro? Where's all my stuff at?" And then, that's the Dayquil is really getting to my head.
Yes,
So,
I get you.
Gunner says onion rings.
hmm.
We may have to have a meeting there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We ought to have a meeting of the
That's
group.
what Mark said earlier, and
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree.
We'll make somebody be the
Delicious.
designated driver. So
So we could taste the wares too.
that's right. That's right.
That's funny.
Oh,
All right.
God.
So we got some new ones. What are they?
We got new Mandellas. You guys
What are we-
start.
Okay.
All right. How do you ladies spell Oragel?
Oragel
All right. Well,
or dash GEL, actually. Isn't it 2
Mhm.
words? Or a dash
well,
gel?
that's how I always thought it said, but look at this. Hold on, I'm slow.
We know. It's
We love you anyway.
Pretty obvious to anybody. It's spelled with a J.
That doesn't even look right.
One
yeah,
word.
it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Huh.
And you're right. I think there was a dash in it. I think it was
think there
Aura
was,
dash
too.
gel.
GEL. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Huh.
It's totally weird.
It's
So-
strange.
Right?
Very strange. Yes. Let me.
Who's next? I think we're just going to take turns because we all found our own
We did.
listings. It's crazy.
Okay, Mark, if you could throw that up for me. Well, put it on the screen for me. Everybody's not feeling well. That's the wrong thing to say there. Okay, so this is a new one that's popped up is the song I'll Be Home for Christmas. I'm hearing that it now says you can plan on me as opposed to you can count on me. So I went out to Spotify and I looked around and pulled the lyrics off of Bing Crosby is the first one. And it does say you can plan on me. And then down here again, you can plan on me. That's the only 2 times that line is said in the song. Frank Sinatra does the same. You can plan on me.
Phil.
Who is it?
Phil.
Oh, hi, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
And then, so I went to Pentatonics and they have You Can Count on Me and You Can Count on Me. And then Camila Cabello, she has You Can Count on Me and You Can Count on Me. But then if you go to Michael Bublé, You Can Plan on Me and You Can Count on Me. So he kind of is on the in between. He's doing both. So I'm wondering if it's more or less a modernization of the song itself.
The only problem I have with that is that I'm a big fan of the old Christmas tunes. My family has always listened to those every year. We've always had like a little record or, a cassette full of them. And we listen to them every year when we're having Christmas dinner and when we're opening gifts. So I know I've always listened to the old Frank Sinatra ones and the Bing Crosby and stuff like that. And I don't ever remember it being Plan on Me. In fact, I think if I just tried to sing along with one now, I'd screw that up.
I would too. I do. And yeah, that is a strange thing about it. I thought maybe I was misremembering.
I thought it was You Can Count on Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's
I got
weird.
confused after I saw this, and they're going back and forth on them. I thought maybe it was just modernization, but I do recall it always being "You Can Count on Me." So I don't know.
Mhm.
It's
Maybe
interesting.
everybody's jumping
Strange.
around.
Maybe.
We're confusing everybody.
Hi, Ian. Ian's in the chat too.
Hi,
And
Ian.
Enzo said spelled with a J. Nah.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't even look right.
Yeah, it
Okay,
does.
I'll drop mine. I'll drop my screen, and who wants to go next?
I will. So, in my hunts for new ones, because I've been kind of writing down some of the ones that have kind of popped up for me over the last few months or so, because it's really picked up. And one of the crazier ones that I found was that they're claiming now that Judge Judy doesn't have now and never has had a gavel, which absolutely doesn't make sense to me. I don't watch a whole lot of Judge Judy, but I'm just like anyone else. I catch her in the afternoons once in a while and watch it for a little bit because she throws her little fits. And I remember her banging that and shaking it at people, yelling at them and shaking that gavel at them,
Yeah,
like, I don't
yeah.
have to put up with this. You shut up and sit down kind of thing. And apparently she's never had one.
Huh.
It weirds me out.
That is strange.
Yeah, I seem to remember her having one.
Yeah.
So that's totally weird.
Yeah, I went and looked and I can't find any video or any photos of her with a gavel now. So,
Which is weird because
maybe.
that's like the judgiest prop there is.
Mhm. You would
Right.
think. I remember her shaking it at people. I remember her picking it
Mhm.
up and just, talking with it with her hand. So, I
Chris
don't
is
know.
saying she distinctly remembers her banging that too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
I personally would have used it on some of those losers' brains, but
Boomerang
Throw it across the room.
I am for.
it. Grab it back. Like the shoe. Ah. Is that Eddie Murphy? I can't remember who did that. I think it was Eddie Murphy.
I don't remember.
Could be wrong. Okay, Mark, what do you have?
Let's see. I've lost my page. I accidentally closed it. Oh, the
Uh-oh.
birds. The birds.
Oh,
I remember the birds being black and white, but apparently it's always been color.
which is really weird because that
Yeah.
was like Alfred Hitchcock, one of the,
Yeah, that was in 63. Now they had color, so yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
probable. But I thought
Still
for
weird.
art, I thought he had done it in black and white. And
Oh,
Yeah.
Enzo remembers that in color. Huh.
The lady who I always forget her name. The lady who was in the birds.
Melanie Griffith's
Um,
mom. I can't remember
Yeah.
her name. Janet?
I can't
uh,
remember.
Janet something?
I did find a couple of stories that she had told when she was doing interviews, that it always confused her because people would come up to her and say, "It's so nice that they finally colorized your old movie." And she was just like, "I don't
Oh,
know what you're talking about. It was never colorized. It was always in color from the very beginning."
really?
yeah, and
Yeah.
I
So
don't
it's
remember that.
not, yeah. Apparently, this isn't a a new Mandela unless her memories of that happening are now new.
I was way off. It's Tippi Hedren. Yeah, you're right, Enzo. I was just looking it up. Tippi Hedren.
So yeah, that's I don't know. It's weird. It is totally weird.
That is a strange one.
Yeah. I remember it being in black and white. Now, like I said, it's been 35, 40 years since I watched it.
I went when I may have watched it on a black and white TV too, and just didn't realize it was in color. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a black and white TV in my room for a long time, so that may be why I remember it. But
Shoot, I had a black and white TV in my bedroom when my oldest son was a baby.
so, I mean, that's distinctly possible. We're just old and had black and white TVs.
Right?
But,
Hey, you talk about yourself, not me. I'm not old.
all
I
right,
may have had a black and white TV clear up until I was 12 or 13. Okay.
you
Which is about the same age as probably you were when my son was born. So, actually it's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
It's
sure.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, some of these could be explained away, but I mean, there's a lot
Yeah.
of people who claim to seen it in the movies and said it was in black and white.
Interesting.
So
Cool. All righty. Can you
I
pop my
don't know.
screen up for me?
I can.
Thank you. This is one that's popped up. Richard Simmons never having worn a sweatband. And I
Gotcha.
always
Yeah.
remember him. And even I put the
And the bracelets. There used to be a
yeah, the wrist.
Richard Simmons set that came with wristbands and the headband.
Yeah.
That's why I added the Halloween costume. It even includes the sweatbands in it. But I pulled his sweat into the oldies and stuff, and none of those have it. But I remember it because it made his head look like a peanut. It would
Yeah,
squish
because
Yes.
it squeezed his
squish
hair.
his afro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill remembers it too, so we're not crazy. Well, maybe we are, but not about this.
That's
right. Boogie down the pounds. That's hilarious.
I had to add that one in there because it was just so funny.
Oh, this was always torture for me in high school and gym class. Schulteis, our gym teacher, this was punishment for us. If she had to be gone and we had a substitute and she found out we weren't great for the substitute, we would spend a week doing sweating to the oldies out in the gym in front of the boys' class. It was the worst.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. And the hilarious thing is that she was still there when my daughter was going to high school, and she came home complaining one day because she was making them do sweat into the oldies. And Raven was like, "If I have to say sparkle one more time, I'm gonna cry."
That's awesome. Oh, Enzo, that's funny. He watched the whole Tom Baker run on a black and white TV with the rabbit ears on top. Yes, that's
Hey.
awesome.
Now I did watch Tom Baker in color because that came on in the late afternoon, and I was the only one in the house, so I got to watch it on color. But it was so snowy because we had to go turn the aerial.
Yeah.
You could get the public television channel in Wichita. We had to go turn it just right,
Yeah.
and it was so
Added to the ambiance.
yeah.
That's funny.
Wiggle the ears.
Left a little bit. No,
And
back up. Back.
At least you didn't have to stand up there and hold a part of it.
No.
Step forward 2 steps. All right, you got
open
it.
your mouth.
Right there.
We had an outside aerial, and you could. The TV was over by the door, and so somebody could sit in the living room and yell out the door at one of us kids turning the pipe for the aerial by hand.
And so said it improved the Baker era special effects. Yeah. It kind of probably hid the trash can Daleks a little bit.
Yeah, but those storylines, those are classics.
They are.
Yeah.
They're the best.
I love the John Pertwee episodes just as much too. So anyway, I'm dating myself again.
I'm right there with you. I
All
used to
right.
watch it with my dad.
Speaking of the horror flicks, let's keep going with those. So this one absolutely just weirded me out, and I had to go and double check on it, and it's true. So in the movie The Shining, that we all know, the very famous scene with the twin girls at the end of the hallway, the creepy looking kids, apparently the famous hexagon carpet is now missing out of that scene. Now it is just a plain gray carpet. The
That's
only
weird.
time you see the hexagon carpet is in the one scene with the boy on the tricycle. It has left the rest of the film, which is absolutely ridiculous. I have a t-shirt with the print on it with the 2 girls. So
Weird.
yeah, seriously.
That's weird because I remember the hexagon carpet.
Yeah,
It's iconic.
it is. And I can't imagine that it would have become iconic having only been in a,
One
one
scene.
scene
Right.
without the girls. Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
But I mean, I can't
Yeah.
see that becoming such a famous thing if it was only in the one scene. I don't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, I was gonna find it.
Let me unmute myself. Yeah, that is weird. That doesn't even look right. Pull it back just a little bit because it darked it out. There you go.
Yeah, that don't look right.
Huh. No, it doesn't.
Mm-mm.
Weird.
Yeah, it's gone. Totally strange. Whew. Another one that I have is apparently
Enzo. What?
oh, what?
Full disclosure, he has never seen The Shining.
Oh.
Homework.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
You need to
Here's
watch
Johnny.
it.
Another interesting one I found was that apparently Charles Schultz of Peanuts fame, his last name isn't spelled the way that I've always thought it was spelled, and it looks really weird if you spell it out. So Schultz, Schultz, is now Shulz. It's like Shoals.
I
I'm trying to picture it in
thinking
my head.
and I think I always remember the T being in there.
Yeah. We should all know what it looks like because it was written very large on the last panel of every Peanuts run in the paper, like in the
And
comics.
I looked at Peanuts every weekend in the Sunday
Heck
paper.
yeah.
I love the Sunday comics. I loved the
Yeah.
weekday comics, the black and white ones in the Wichita Eagle all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the T in there.
Yep.
I
Pam
mean,
has another
that's like the
Peanuts one.
Berenstein.
Yeah,
or
I flipped
something.
over to it to pull it up. Hang on just a second. Let me switch over screens here. If you could pop that up for me, Mark.
There
Oh, we
you
should have
go.
waited. The Mandela on this one is a lot of people are remembering Snoopy's tail as being black. And it's not, it's black and white. In
And
fact,
I don't remember either way.
at work today, when I remember it being black and white. And I had hollered at my boss and I was like, hey, what color is Snoopy's tail? And she immediately said black. And I was like, no, it's black and white. And she was like, really? The autofill on Google has T in Schultz. Huh. Interesting.
That's weird.
That is weird.
That's weird. Weird. You want me to pull this?
You all right?
Yeah, I had to blow my nose. I didn't think everybody wanted to hear that. Again, I apologize to everybody at home. I'm not looking my best right now.
There's a lot of that going around. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'm shocked that I've not been sick before now. I usually right after the Paracon is when it hits me, but it took a little while this time.
Phil remembers black and white.
Yeah, I do too, Phil. She's the only person that I've heard say so far that she remembers it black. But I mean, it was on the internet as a Mandela and other people remembering it that way.
Oh, and this is a good time to mention if anyone listening thinks, oh no, it's always been that way, that one must not be true. It could be true for someone else. If our theories are right about skipping lines, not everybody's going to be from the same lines. So you have come from a line where it was that particular way. It doesn't mean that it's not a Mandela for someone else.
Right. And you might go back.
Yeah. That's one of the things that just makes me mad. I had, when we did the first Mandela one back a couple of years ago, I had joined a couple of Facebook groups that were devoted to Mandela effects that people were coming up with. And I had to get off of it within a couple of hours because if you said anything that just one person didn't agree with, oh, no, it was always that way, then they would like kick that person off. Oh, you're fake. That's not real.
That's the first when we talked about doing this show, that's the first place I went and looked was at some of the Facebook groups, and some of them that I used to be on aren't there anymore. And I noticed one of them was saying that they're either disappearing or the admins have gone and they're just gone wild. And I don't know what's up with that. That's kind of weird.
I think a lot of them imploded.
It sounds like
Yeah.
they did.
Because the internet is a very frightening place. People, because they're not seeing people face to face. This is not a Mandela effect, and this is not really paranormal at all. But I have noticed social media brings out the worst in so many people because they're not communicating face to face. They are saying and doing things online that they would never say or do in person because they have divorced themselves from reality. So,
Yep. Keyboard warriors saying stuff they would never say to someone's face.
or never even think. I mean,
And jerky jerks.
Yes. Everybody at home, please remember that before you go and say something nasty to a comment that you saw online. Remember there's a person behind that.
Yeah.
right. It seems like social networking is anything but social.
Yeah.
Enzo said because if they did, meaning if they did say it to their face, they would have got clobbered. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason that politeness became a thing, and so you wouldn't end up with your nose broke.
Chris said it started getting worse in 2020. Yeah, everybody went a little feral in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bit on the ridiculous side.
It was crazy.
Nothing
like
better to do. Let's just spread hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically. All right.
Yeah.
More
Ian
Mandelas.
said, I think we've just seen a lot of that with the recent X/Twitter exodus. Yeah. Yeah. People are getting off of it like rats jumping off a sinking ship.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Anybody got a new one?
I do. Do you have any more, Mark?
Not off the top of my head. I had a couple found, and then I accidentally hit the X on my page. And
Aw. I have a few. I know Jess has a few more too.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. This one, the Statue of Liberty, is located on Liberty Island, not Ellis Island. I've always thought it was on Ellis Island. I was there in 2018 and I rode the ferry. I didn't go to Ellis Island, but I rode the ferry by the Statue of Liberty, and I'm pretty sure we talked about it being on Ellis Island.
Yeah.
Which is really strange.
I know you can see the statue from Ellis Island, so that may just be confusion.
It could be.
I don't know.
But I don't
That
know.
one could go either way.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing people talking about going to Ellis Island and passing the Statue of Liberty. Or seeing the Statue of Liberty from Ellis Island. So
oh yeah. Huh, maybe so.
I don't ever remember hearing it called Liberty Island though.
Yeah, I've never where the statue is. Yeah, it's called Liberty Island. It's the two separate islands.
Enzo says they're very close to each other.
Yeah, that's see. I didn't
know that one may. I don't know if that. I don't know, and then I could have just jumped between universes a few too many times, and I have no idea. or I could be losing my mind, which is absolutely possible.
Right.
We could also add, so if you haven't seen some of our past shows on Mandelas, there's actually a couple others about the Statue of Liberty in particular. So another one is how many platforms she stands on. It seems to change all the time. How many risers she's on underneath her base pedestal. And then the big one that drives everybody crazy is the fact that you're not allowed to go up to the viewing platform on the torch. There's many people even today that said that they have pictures of going up into the torch and getting to look out over the landscape. But they claim now that that was closed in the 30s and no one has been up there since except for maintenance.
my friend Ann, she is from New York, and we had asked her after the show. I don't know if you remember that. And
Mhm.
she distinctly remembers doing a class trip going up and standing in the torch and looking out. And
Mhm.
she was born, how old is she? She's like 52 now. So yeah.
Yeah. The interesting thing is all these people claim that they had pictures and stuff from when they were younger, going up there with their families and taking photos, but no one can now produce a photo of
A
it. They go
photo.
back to find it and they're gone.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
She didn't have any, I know that.
Did the Black Tom incident? Is that what damaged the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
So, and
I
that
don't
was
remember.
yeah, Black Tom. That was actually a terrorist attack by the German government
Mhm.
on
Yeah,
American soil, and it was
yeah, it
swept
was
under
the
the rug.
first one. Yeah.
It was swept under the rug because they didn't want to be seen as, you know, having allowed that to happen.
Mhm. There is a little plaque dedicated to it, though, on the Statue of Liberty. You have to hunt it up, though. It's a really tiny little black plaque down in a very nondescript area on one of the bases that talks about it's like a little quick, like 3-sentence blurb on it.
Huh.
But most people don't know that it ever happened. It's the very first full terrorist attack on American soil, and
Right.
nobody knows about it.
Right.
Okay, so Enzo is saying that is, let's see, this is Ellis Island over here, and that this is Liberty Island here.
Mm.
Interesting.
So I can see why they could get mixed up.
Yeah, they
I
are
mean,
pretty close.
but like I said, I remember reading about people looking at the Statue of Liberty as they sailed to Ellis Island, and that could be construed as she was on Ellis Island, or they were passing her on the way to Ellis Island.
I'll
So
have to look back at my photos. I know we came out like somewhere in here, wherever, I can't remember where it is that you leave on the ferries. There's a ferry there. So it must be from over here. And I remember going by it, but I really thought it was Ellis Island we went by. Maybe not.
well, they could have
I'll have
said
to look
that
back
was
at my
Ellis
stuff.
Island, and you're going by both of them, and
Maybe so.
so I don't know that could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely go either way.
Interesting.
So some of here's the thing about a lot of these Mandela effects. Sometimes I think it's just people making a mistake, and
Mhm.
some of these I think are really really weird because I don't remember it that way. It's like the Oragel thing. I always thought it was Oragel.
Yes. Enzo
So
said, if coming from the open ocean, you would pass Liberty Island to get to Ellis Island. Okay, so you would pass the Statue of Liberty to get to Ellis Island. Okay,
that makes sense because
it
I mean
does.
they're right. I mean they're swimming distance.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's one that I have that I always thought was strange, and I pulled this because it shows Shaggy from all
All the
eras.
series.
Yeah, I had always recalled him having a very pronounced Adam's apple, and apparently he has never had an Adam's apple. I think
He
that's
did
weird.
because when he would swallow Scooby snacks,
They
you
were
could
You
just
would
a
see
really
it
see
giant.
too.
it. Like it
Yes.
would bob when he swallowed them.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
he would like throw them up in the air and catch them in his mouth one at a time, and every time one went down, his Adam's apple would bob. It was funny because
And when he
Scooby would do
would
it at
say
the same
zoinks or
time.
whatever, and he would gulp, you would see it go up and down.
Yeah, or when he was scared, he was like, Scoob, and then it would bob.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a bit of trivia. Was Shaggy's last name?
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on. Norville was his first name. I can't remember the last name. It's something fairly normal though.
It is very normal.
Norville though, that was the weird part of it. I understand why
Norval.
I would go by Shaggy too.
His last name is Rogers.
Yes, Norville Rogers. Yes.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Shaggy Rogers. Norval Rogers.
Learn something
Pretty
new
funny.
every day.
Right?
Like somebody's parents hate me.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, Jess, you have one?
Yeah. So this one kind of weirded me out too. If you think back into the 90s, all the supermodels that were around at that time, they were really big in the 90s. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. Supermodels were everywhere. Kate Moss, the famous model, who had the gap in her teeth, that's because she was famous for. She never got that gap fixed, and she kind of wore it loud and proud. That gap is now missing, and apparently she never had it. And I went back and looked because I was like, no, because I remember there was a particular jeans commercial that she used to do, and she said some famous line with it, and I can't remember what it was, but
was
she
Guess,
smiles really big after she says the line, like the camera zooms in on her and she says it with that gap. I watched the commercial. It's not there anymore.
Was
She's
it Guess
never had a
jeans?
gap.
I think it was.
It
Guess
might have
jeans.
been. And what was even more disturbing, and I was like, did she get it fixed by that time? And I'm just misremembering the timeline. So I went back and found some of her original modeling photos from back when she was like 10, 11, 12. That gap is not there.
Huh. That's weird.
That is weird.
Really strange. Yeah.
Because I can picture it now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She was kind of famous for that gap right there. Another one that's kind of weirding me
Gaps are
out, and I
cool.
just I just found this one today. Yeah, I've got that one right there. Superman, the original Superman. Well, not
Right.
original, but original enough. Christopher Reeves apparently has no S at the end of his name. His name is Christopher Reeve. And I went and looked even back through his family line to see if maybe he changed it at some point, and it just didn't take. It's Reeve all the way back through.
Weird.
No S on the end. No Reeves.
Now I remember Reeves, but I don't have a perfect memory, but I've always said Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Another one that I found, and it's weird for me. I mentioned to Mark and Pam backstage, and they didn't seem to think it was as weird. But I've always known Donna Summers with an S. But now they're claiming it's just Donna Summer.
I remember Donna Summer, but that doesn't mean I was, she wasn't a household name. So I could either not remember right, or B, could have jumped around a little bit on the timelines. You never know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I might be misremembering because of maybe like Suzanne Summers. Maybe I attributed an S to the other Summers too.
Maybe I
Summer.
just said Donna Summers all the time, and it was really
don't know.
Summer. I don't know. I really remember Summers, though, it seems like.
Yeah.
Enzo said
I
it changed from Reeves after he found that penny in his pocket.
The penny! I yell at him every time he goes to pull that penny out. Urgh. And I hope everybody at home knows what I'm talking about.
Yes. I can't remember the beginning of it. Something in time. What is it?
Somewhere in time.
Somewhere in time. Thank you. I was close. Something in time.
I used to cry watching that movie when I was younger.
Yes.
I was like, no, don't pull out the penny.
Don't do it.
He never listened either. He always pulled it out anyway.
Don't.
Men.
I know. Rude.
So rude. Okay.
Did you want to do another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, can you pop that up for me, please?
Alrighty.
This one, Tony the Tiger has always had a blue nose. I did not recall him having a blue nose ever, but I went to Kellogg's website and found a picture of him from the 70s, and he's back earlier than that, but as early, except for the actual very earliest, and I want to say that was from like the 30s or 40s, he had a black nose, but it was black and white too. Yeah, he's always had a blue nose.
Why would he have a blue nose? It doesn't even make sense.
I don't remember his face looking that freaking awful.
Right?
Looks like somebody smacked him in the face with a 2x4.
It does, doesn't it? Just flatten him out.
Just don't look right.
That's crazy.
Sounds right. And this one, whoops, I hit my wrong button here. We were talking about one of yours, Michelangelo's David.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that? I've pulled a picture.
Okay. Yeah. Pull the picture up. So look at this insanity. Um, Pam actually just like sent me a link to this just like last week, I think it was.
It wasn't very long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, like a week ago or so, saying, check out his pupils. They are now hearts. Now I'm gonna say this. I am an art student. I went to school for art. I had to take art history lessons. I
Same.
have seen Michelo's Michelangelo's David in person. I have seen it in person. It is awe-inspiring. It is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen. And I think I would remember if he had hearts in his eyes. Is that not the
That's so cartoonish.
strangest?
It just looks
Yeah.
weird.
I that's just weird.
It's
And
so
why?
strange. It's
Of course, I've never looked at his face that closely as we've
Oh,
got
I
here.
have. You know,
Yeah.
I studied art history too in college, and you have to study it. You have to like, look very closely at it.
Yeah.
And why
It's
would you
insane.
take something that is so perfect specimen of a human and give it hearts for pupils?
Yeah, it's like an afterthought, like somebody came in afterwards and chiseled that in because they thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, it's just
It's
strange.
like a graffiti on a masterpiece or something. I don't understand. It's kinda like when the thinker changed.
Yeah,
Right.
That drives me insane. Or like when well, not saying that it's high art, but when the painting of the dogs playing poker completely
yeah,
changed.
yep.
I can't handle that. Wow.
Yeah, that is strange. But,
Yeah.
and we honestly, now that I'm thinking about this on David, we did actually study his eyes because the way that Michelangelo did his eyes, one is faced off a little bit in a different direction. So no matter where you're looking at him from, you see him, you
Yeah.
can see the direction his eyes are going. There was a whole section that we studied on how he did the gaze. Eyes are up your
Eyes are weird. It's
Because
very
he is
true.
naked.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
can't imagine that this is, that was what it was meant to be. I mean, I have seen him in person. The muscles, the way the muscles are carved is just so amazing. It's actually like you can see like there's skin with muscle bulk underneath of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
And how you get a slab of marble to do that is beyond me. So for all of this fantastic artistry that is involved with this one statue to come up and then chisel two hearts and not even like a heart, mocked hearts. Was that even a thing back then to make those kind of
I'm not
mocked?
sure.
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't know when they started.
I'm
That's a
gonna
good
look that up.
question. When did they start? Enzo,
I'm gonna look.
Google that for us. When did hearts become cartoonish, the shape that they are now? That's a very
Yeah, I
good
can't
question.
imagine.
No, I can't either because I mean, look at the detail everywhere. And you're right, the muscles, you can see everything on him, the expression,
Yeah.
just it's a absolutely gorgeous piece of art.
Actually, 1250s is when it says.
Really?
So that's the first known depiction of the classic heart.
Huh.
Huh. It's
That's
right.
interesting.
Still, I can't imagine that I went through all of those years of art studies and not have, could have
Well,
completely looked that over.
and between the three of us, our heads are full of fun facts. This is like the
Yeah,
ultimate fun fact.
exactly.
Oh yeah, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie.
It's insane. I
It's
don't even
it's
understand
actually
it.
kind of unsettling.
It
Yeah, it is.
is. It
This is
doesn't
the one
even
that
look right.
this one gets me probably more than any of them do is
Mhm.
this one because it's just very off-putting.
I saw That's uncanny valley right there.
Mm-hmm.
That
It
just
is. It's strange.
turns the whole statue into uncanny valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you noticed this or not, Pam, because I know that you studied art too. Uh, David has always had kind of a like a pensive type of look to him, like
Mm-hmm.
he's looking over and wondering, or looking fondly off and contemplating. And now he looks like he's leering because his eyes are so just kind of
Yeah.
pointed.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks kind of angry. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm
He's
not
got his
I'm not
eyebrows are
okay with you.
yeah, his
He's like,
eyebrows are
don't
kind of
judge me
drawn.
for my heart eyes.
Yeah.
Quit being
What
judgy.
the hell are you thinking, fat boy?
Yeah,
In the
I
middle,
don't like it.
Enzo put up in the Middle Ages, the pine cone shaped heart was represented with a rounded base. The early years of the 14th century, that the scalloped shape of the St. Valentine's heart.
Weird.
That is weird.
It makes me wonder if when the heart shape started is now a Mandela too, to make it work.
I mean, it could be. We skipped universes and
That is wild.
It's crazy.
Okay, so my big question is why do you feel is the ultimate reason behind Mandela's? Why are Mandela's occurring? I know we talked a little bit about maybe CERN firing up. There's another thought out there that maybe it's a conspiracy where the government is pushing to see how much they can erase or change and see how much slides by us without us catching it too.
Yeah.
no, that
It
actually makes some sense. I mean,
it could also be simulation theory.
yeah.
It could very well be that somebody's tweaking with the game.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're messages from the past.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum,
Okay,
bum.
David, what are you trying to tell us with your heart eyeballs?
It's a code for something. Everybody at home, scramble and figure it out
Ooh,
before it's too late.
before it disappears.
It's, let's see.
All right. Moving on. I'm going to hit an old one, but it's changed. So everybody, or if you haven't heard, another very big Mandela for everyone is the famous Snow White mirror, mirror on the wall, which has since changed to magic mirror on the wall. And that one was completely strange for everyone when it first popped up about 3 years ago.
Right.
We talked about it a lot, about how, we knew for certain it couldn't have been that, because especially us girls, we grew up saying it because you play
Mirror, mirror
Yeah.
on the
play
wall.
Snow White.
Who's
You
the
pick up your
fairest of them
mirror
all?
and you pick up your little hand mirror and you talk to it and stuff. And, we knew that was wrong. But it apparently has changed again. Not the first part, not the magic mirror part. That has stayed the same as it had changed to originally. But now it's the second part that has changed. So we all remember it as mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's now magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all? And I went back and checked it. I went back to that original part in the movie and it has changed to that. It doesn't even look right how she's saying it. Like, we all know what that scene looks like in full detail.
Mm-hmm.
Seen it so many times, seen her, she's talking to the large mirror on the wall and she steps back and her, her cape flares out and, it doesn't look right when she says it. It doesn't sound right. It's changed again.
Interesting.
Very, very strange. So now that whole 2 lines is wrong.
Yeah. Gal Gadot can say
weird.
whatever she wants. I would agree with that. Enzo said, normally, I think it's just people misremembering things, but even as a kid, I would have made some kind of stain joke about the Berenstain Bears, right?
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's the big one. Everybody knows.
Mhm.
Parents, almost everybody remembers it different.
Yeah. I will see, like, I discussed this before. Like, I've been drawing ever since I could pick up a crayon. And I used to collect the Bernstein Bear books, and I would copy and make the covers. I would get a scrap piece of paper and see if I could draw the entire cover and recreate it. And it used to drive me nuts because I didn't understand why the E worked in there like that. I was very little. I didn't understand different languages and stuff like that. Why is it all EI, blah, 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 blah. I thought it was strange. And I remember working through that, drawing the E in and stuff. I didn't really know cursive yet, so I was really struggling to get that in there.
Huh.
So why do I have that memory if it was always Stain?
I always remembered Steen,
Mhm.
Berenstain Bears.
Mhm.
And I think I saw somebody actually had copies of books that said that.
Yeah.
So-
There's I saw when I was looking through for some, there's a guy, I don't remember what he was on TikTok or YouTube, one or the other. And he was showing a book that his uncle had, I think. And he said my uncle must have figured out some of this stuff because he had a Berenstain Bears book that had STEIN, and he also had a Fruit of the Loom shirt that had the cornucopia behind
right?
the
I
fruit on
remember
it.
the cornucopia, and they said that never existed.
I remember
It was on
that.
the commercials for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and I had boys. I remember, tidy whities. They all had the little cornucopia on them.
Yeah. I used to help my grandma iron out my grandfather's work clothes because he worked for Phillips. He had to be in a suit every day, and he had all those white T-shirts that he
Mhm.
would have to wear underneath his white dress shirts. And of course, we didn't iron those. But while she ironed, I was in charge of pulling those white shirts out and getting them out real nice and crisp and getting them folded up neatly. And they all had the cornucopia.
Mhm.
So I remember seeing them all the time because, he would wear 7 or 8 shirts a week, change out a
Mhm.
one. And
Oh, I know. I ran across another one they were talking about has changed twice. Fruit Loops went from it originally was FROOT or FROOT loops.
Yep.
And then it moved to fruit FRUIT loops, and now it's back to
Mhm.
FROOT loops again.
Yep. So weird. Keeps
That
flipping
is
back and
weird
forth.
because we were talking about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, that's probably
Um,
on one of our old shows, Mandela shows.
It probably
Yeah.
is, actually. But what
Yeah.
if
In
we go
fact, I
back and
pulled
listen
up
to
all
those
of our
things
old
all wrong?
ones.
Cool, wouldn't it?
I have all of our old ones we can always hit back on if we wanted
Cool.
to. Yeah. Another interesting one I found, and this is a newer one. So this is a list of emojis that have gone missing, which I thought was completely interesting because I remember a couple of these. Apparently now missing is the dragonfly, the fork, which I thought was really weird.
I remember the fork.
Yeah, so now all you can get is there's a fork and a knife together, and there's a spoon by itself, but there's no fork anymore, just on its own. The water well is now missing, the wishing well.
I
Mhm.
remember that one.
The witch's cauldron
Yeah,
Mhm.
never
It's gone.
existed. The dumbbell, the workout dumbbell is gone. The robber, the thief, the
Oh,
the hiker guy.
uh-huh.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, the hiker guy never existed apparently. The swordfish, which
I
I
don't
remember
remember
seeing.
that one, but
With the
Yeah,
big nose.
yeah, and the seahorse.
I remember the seahorse.
Huh.
Yeah, it was never there apparently.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
I wonder
who's-
Enzo put up the fork and knife together. I wonder if they took that away because you could say fork you.
Well, they left the eggplant in, so
Oh, that's true. That's a very good point. That just blew that theory, didn't
yeah,
it?
really. I mean, the peach and the eggplant and the taco are still there. So
Oh, that's funny.
yeah.
You guys want to hear
Also,
Mark?
go ahead, Mark.
Want to
Sorry.
hear something really weird that happened to me last night? I was going to look. We didn't have like a little mini earthquake or anything last night, did we?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so.
The reason I'm asking is I have a picture that's been hanging above my dresser in my bedroom for months. And last night I had the lights were out. I had put my phone down. I was drifting off to sleep, and it fell off the wall and scared the
Oh,
shit out of me because it
wow.
fell down. It hit the top of the dresser, which was a really loud bang, and then it fell on the floor, which was even a bigger bang. Scared the crap out of me.
Did
So I was
the nail
like,
come out or
no, the nail's still in the
no?
wall.
Oh,
The nail's still in
wow.
the wall, and the hanger's still on the back of the picture.
Oh,
I know. So I was
it,
like, did we have like a mini earthquake?
maybe it's time to clean your apartment back out again.
I think you are right.
We can check for earthquakes.
Yeah, we need to, because I was going to do that today, and today got a little crazy at work,
Was
and
that
I didn't get a
yesterday?
chance to. It would have been midnight-ish, between midnight and 1, probably.
All right. Well, he's looking that up. I'm going to keep going because I have a few more.
Cool.
This one I found super interesting, and I ran onto it by accident, and I was hunting around online to see, if who had posted, like new Mandela or whatever. And I found this one, and I actually had to go look it up myself because I didn't quite believe it. I thought it was all kind of hokum at first. But apparently the torture devices, the Iron Maiden, which we all know, the big kind of person-shaped coffin that had the spikes on the inside that they would compress into the person so you would bleed
Ugh,
out slowly.
God.
That one, the brazen bull, the bull with the fire they would build up in its stomach,
Mhm.
and the pearl of anguish, which is basically like a backwards pair of clamps you would like put inside of someone somewhere and then
Oh
open
my
up,
God.
right?
No.
Apparently none of those ever existed. They're not real. They're made up.
Which is a bunch of crap, because we were talking about this backstage. Iron Maiden, I distinctly remember it being on that's where the group Iron Maiden got their name, and I remember it being talked about on MTV back in the
Yeah.
80s.
But they're saying now like Iron Maiden was a made up thing back then.
No.
It was never used. It was never even invented back then. It was something new and modern that was made up for
Which makes
movies and
no
stuff.
sense.
It makes no
Yeah.
sense at all because I remember seeing medieval drawings and stuff of it.
Mhm.
So
There
I
it
don't
is.
yeah.
There was an earthquake
Oh, wow.
yesterday.
Oh,
So
really?
that was
In
fairly
our area?
close. Yeah.
Oh, that's the new Madrid, isn't it?
I'm not. It says M3.4 at 8:22,
Oh, it was at 8:22 though, not at
but it could have
midnight.
knocked something loose. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird though.
Weird.
For not
There was one yesterday
Huh.
in the right area, so I don't
Interesting.
know.
Ian said, wasn't the Iron Maiden a device worn over the head with a piece of metal that held the tongue down? Ooh,
Uh-uh.
No.
No. The Iron
that
Maiden
sounds
was the
terrible.
gigantic person-shaped coffin that usually sat upright, and they would put the person in there and then slowly close the door, and it would pierce them partially, just enough not to kill them, but to let them bleed out slowly.
That is awful.
Hmm.
Of course, I guess it was for torture, so.
Yeah.
But dang.
But apparently they never ever used it.
Maybe they threaten people with it.
I don't know.
Now,
I'm looking for a picture of
So
one here.
yeah, while Pam's looking, another one that I found that was super interesting. Here's another art related one for me. We'd actually talked about this on one of the last Mandela shows that we did. We talked about the fact that the chalice had moved in Da Vinci's The Last Supper, that it was no longer in front of Christ in the front, that it actually moved down the table a little ways, along with some bread, I believe. The bread had moved. Now, if you go and look at it, the chalice is completely gone. It's not there anymore, but there's a likeness of it in shadow above the apostle on the furthest left, up on the wall above his head.
That is weird.
We got
It's
an
super
image of
weird.
that. There we go. There's an Iron Maiden.
Yep.
That is weird. That is, yeah, terrifying.
Yep. They claim that these are all new modern mock-ups of something that never existed.
Huh.
Yeah, 19th century is supposedly when they showed up.
Hmm.
I don't know.
It's weird.
What was the one you just were talking about, Jess? When I was looking that up.
The last.
Oh, the chalice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The chalice has moved again. And now it's not even on the table. Now it's a weird likeness above the last apostle's head on the left. And it looks weird. I don't know why it's up there or what the purpose is. It's kind of a glowy outline of a chalice above the last one's head. Strange.
Yeah, it is weird.
Oh,
Like,
pull it up, Mark. I'm trying to find it.
all right, hold on. I'm going to share it. Your screen.
I just noticed Mark's name, the angry mustache.
There you go. It's a pretty good image of it.
Yep. There's a faint outline of it above the last apostle's head on the left.
Oh, the
It's
guy
no-
in blue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's no
it looks like a
longer.
painting on their wall. I don't know.
It
Yeah.
does.
For me, I don't know about you all, but the chalice originally sat right near Christ's
His hand,
well,
wasn't it?
his right hand or his left hand or right
Yeah.
is where it used to set for me.
Yeah,
And then there
my
was a
head
loaf
says-
of there used to be a loaf of bread for me near his other hand. Because when I was younger, I always assumed that was a nod to, like,
Oh, sorry, Mark. I didn't know you were pulling me up.
That's all right.
the wine and the loaves and the fishes. You know what I mean? That story. That was
Mhm.
always like a nod to that for me. But that's all gone now. Now it's just little bits and pieces. And like they aren't even on the plates. If you take a close look, all the food is off the plates and just
It
on the
is,
tablecloth.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's really
That's
weird. It looks like
weird.
somebody came by and like a cat came up there while they weren't looking and knocked all their food off.
Huh.
I promise you, my cats are not. And my monitor just went out. I cannot see anything. Can you guys see anything?
Oh no.
We see what is on your screen from your monitor.
Yeah.
All right. Give me just a second. I can't even see to block anything. I'm gonna have to go over here. I think I might have unplugged my monitor.
Uh-oh.
We'll go fix. We'll continue on.
All right.
That is strange.
It is.
Because I'm pulling
Yeah,
up some.
For somebody who has studied art for a good portion of her life, these changes are weird me out. I could understand if I wasn't so deep into some of this stuff, like I hadn't studied some of this stuff.
Mhm.
I could play it off like, oh, I just must be misremembering it, or maybe somebody did a copy of it and the stuff was in
Right.
a different place, and that's the one I'm remembering. No.
But see, that's what concerns me, because what if that is the case? What if they're just trying to see what we can swallow,
What we can swallow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
and what we
It's
can't.
crazy.
It is crazy. Are you back?
Yeah.
I am back. So what did I miss?
Yay, nothing. We're just talking about
Yeah.
stuff.
The other weird thing for me on that painting is, you don't have to flip back to it or anything like that. It's just me. So I remember I think it's the third apostle over. It's the one that looks very feminine, and a lot of scholars assume that it must be a representation of Mary Magdalene.
What is up with this one?
But other people were like, no, it's just one of the apostles, and it just happens to look a little feminine. She has changed for me too. She's not nearly as feminine looking as she used to be.
Really?
Yeah, it's strange.
Go away, go away. I keep hitting these and that I can't blow up. I don't know why the Last Supper's on LinkedIn, but
So while we're talking about, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it seems like there's a lot of people's representations of the Last Supper.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Yeah, there's tons, but I know the original. I know the Da Vinci one. I've studied him, so I can't. It's taken some wild turns. That one has changed multiple times for me, at least. And I was going to say, while we're on the whole religious aspect of things, I also found a new one we'd talked about before about the changes in the Bible where it had gone from the lion and the lamb to the wolf and the lamb.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
I found another new one that I had not heard yet. I saw where someone had posted that the King James version of the Bible, the one that we all kind of grew up in if you attended church at any time, it now mentions the word dragons 35 times. And I went and looked it up, and it's absolutely true. It's all over the place. I think it's like 14 times in the newer, and how many other times in the old. So
I remembered it being mentioned in Revelations, but that's the only place I remember being.
Yeah, I had pulled up the listing. It's in Psalms and oh my goodness.
Yeah,
so
because I had looked. I pulled the one that I have here, and it's the New International Version, and it doesn't say that in Psalms. It was like Psalms 42:19.
Yeah, I can actually read them here because
44:19.
I found a site that has the listings of the exact ones and what they say. So Psalms 91:13, thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Jobs 41:21, his breath kindleth coals and a flame goeth out of his mouth. It, goes on to talk about the dragon. Isaiah 13:22, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces.
That's wild.
Yeah. Psalms 148:7, praise the Lord from the earth, ye dragons and all deeps.
Enzo said they were talking about dinosaurs. Maybe so.
But regardless of what they're talking about, I think it's very interesting that this has suddenly popped up for everyone. I don't remember dragons being all throughout the Bible either.
No, I don't either.
Because I would have been like, this is badass.
Right?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I paid more attention. Where's the dragons?
Yes.
Oh, believe me, like I'm not very religious at all, but I will say I grew up in a very religious family. My grandparents taught Sunday school, and my mother taught Sunday school, and I taught Sunday school up until I was 17.
Yep.
So, and I taught world religions because I was a little bit, I just wanted everybody to know what was beyond, because we were Methodists. I wanted people to know, the kids to know that what was beyond just ours. So I would think that I would have heard about all these dragons listed in the Bible.
I went to the Baptist church, and I don't ever recall.
If we'd have been talking about dragons, I would have remembered, because I want a dragon.
Right? I was all over dragons. I would have been all about that.
Yeah.
Thou art my new best friend, O dragon. Breathe thee fire upon mine enemies.
Oh, Pam's joining us with the tissues.
Now, that's the second time I've sneezed. What the heck? Actually, I've sneezed more than that. It's like 4 times. Yeah,
a
don't
computer
share.
virus.
No
Yeah.
sharing germs.
I have two more. So another interesting one I found was if you remember back in the 90s, the famous Got Milk ads where all of the
Yes, I remember
celebrities
'em.
would take the photos you found in the magazines with the little milk mustache, or there were the commercial ones where they would talk about it. But apparently, excuse me, I got a little okay. Apparently, a lot of those ads are now missing. They were never made. And I went back and checked on some of them, and one in particular I actually remember, um, Selena Gomez, and it was a rather new one. It was one from the early 2000s. Uh, Apparently she never did it, but I actually can remember what it looked like in my head. It was a magazine article one that I had seen her in.
That's
Huh.
weird.
Yeah, they're like multiple ones are now missing. People remember their favorite celebrities doing the Got Milk ads, and now they're gone. And the celebrities are saying that they never did the Got Milk ads.
Huh.
It's really
That's
strange.
pretty weird.
That is
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
I remember
And the
I can't remember what they used to make the milk, but it wasn't milk.
yeah.
It was like white paint or something that they put on their lip.
hmm
Can't remember what it was.
Yeah, because it doesn't stick like that.
Right?
No,
Well, it
and it
might
doesn't
on
look that
me.
white. Yeah, probably on you. I would think that you
On
would
my-
be a good candidate for a Got Milk ad.
Yeah, got stash.
Yeah. The last one that I have that, and I thought was super interesting too. I'd found it on a YouTube video that someone was talking about a personal one for them, and I went and looked it up, and it's true, and I thought it was super odd. So apparently, caffeine and the ingredients in power drinks like uh, oh, Red Bull and
Monster or
stuff like
whatever.
that, Monster and stuff like that, they don't actually give you pep or more energy. All they do is block whatever it is that what do they call it? Adenosine. So you don't fall asleep. It doesn't actually give you any.
Y'all know that's a lie. You've seen me on
I
caffeine.
I do know, but I went and looked it up, and I actually found some interviews they had done with doctors and stuff and scientists saying, we've never said that it will give you pep. It only blocks what puts you to sleep.
And see,
That's
I just went
Yeah.
through a deal. I had a TIA earlier this year, and they told me at the doctor's office that the caffeine made my adrenaline rush,
right.
Uh-huh.
and that's what caused my TIA. So,
Yep.
which is for those of you who don't know, think micro mini stroke. It's not really
Transient ischemic attack is what it
yes,
stands for.
hmm
but it's it could lead to a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that was because the caffeine kicked my
It is a mini stroke, isn't it?
yeah, it basically
Mhm.
by another name, that it basically just kicked my adrenaline up. So it does apparently, according to the doctor I talked to, and the nurse and whatnot, cause an adrenaline spike, which so that would
Yeah, absolutely. I can't drink power drinks because it sends my heart into overload. Like it'll
Good
just
Lord. I would combust.
vibrate. Yeah, and if anybody, if you don't know, if you've never been in contact with Pam while she's on caffeine,
it's a trip.
you're welcome. Don't do it because that lady is off the hook. Like she is going a mile a minute and dropping stuff everywhere. We had
It's
her
Her
not
on
eyes
good.
are
message
this big
once
around. Like
that she decided to have like a cup of coffee before she left, and every EVP has her dropping something in the background, going, "Sorry."
That was we had done an art show that day, so we had gotten up super early
Yeah.
and done it. And then we decided to do a ghost hunt that night. So I was already dragging before we even left. So I was like, they were like, just drink some coffee, you'll be fine. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. I'll do it. It'll be fine. Yeah.
We learned
Yeah.
our lesson.
Ricochet rabbit. That's right.
Yeah. Girlfriend
There's a-
can go.
She's like that squirrel on Over the Hedge where time
Yes.
stops and she calmly steps over the laser beams as it goes across. Yeah.
Yep. Mile a minute.
Enzo said we are the only 3 people that he knows that are contagious through the internet. Right? Dragon. Those are in the Bible. Yeah. Wah wah. And he
Yeah.
said we were talking about the Got Milk campaign. Enzo said they use Elmer's glue for all the photos and commercials and breakfast cereals. Yeah, I knew it was
Yeah, gross.
something strange.
Eat paste. It's delicious.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't handle caffeine well, and that right there tells you. That, okay, so my question is, I'm squirreling here. My question is, why do they want us to think that caffeine doesn't give you pep? What would be the purpose?
I don't know. I will tell you my shop runs on caffeine.
I don't know. Maybe so they can start adding it to stuff without
I
us
don't
thinking that
know.
it's a bad thing. Who knows? If that's even a thing, it's just
Yeah.
a theory. So
Enzo says the Elmer's is probably healthier than the actual cereal.
You're probably right.
hey, you stay away from my Rice Krispies, dude.
Yeah, or my Cheerios. What about coffee or
I was
tea?
kind of sitting here because that's the end of the new ones that I have, but I was kind of looking through some of our old ones. There's some crazy stuff I'd forgotten about.
Yeah, there really is a lot of nuts.
Yeah.
Throw a couple of them out there.
And you guys really want to blow your minds, go through some of these.
Yeah. Cup of noodles has no O in it. It's just cup noodles.
What?
Uh-huh. Go
Yeah.
look it up. I promise.
That's weird.
Yeah. Uncle Sam's hat. There's no red stripes.
What? That's not true.
Oh, this one was one of my favorite. Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob
SpongeBob.
SquarePants.
Mhm.
She never had an air tank.
Yes, she did. She had a fishbowl on her head. Oh, did she not have an air tank?
I thought
No, she had an
a
air tank because she had it looked like a fishbowl on her head.
Oh, that was the helmet, but I was
Yeah,
pretty sure
but
she had a
she-
blue air tank.
yeah.
The tank
She did.
doesn't exist. It doesn't exist ever. I promise.
Really?
Yeah, we had the same conversation the last time we did.
We're all like,
Yeah, oh, I completely remember it.
It was
Babe
blue.
the pig.
wrong.
Yeah, Babe the pig now
Uh-huh.
has hair on his head.
I forgot about that one. We talked about it last time, but yeah. I
Yeah.
don't remember hair on the head.
Oh,
Big
this one freaked me out. I remember this one. Jane Goodall. Do you remember what she was famous
Yeah,
for?
for the gorillas or the chimps or something.
Yeah, it's gorillas. No, it was just chimps. Gorillas in the Mist. Sigourney Weaver, the movie she did, Sigourney Weaver. It
Mhm.
wasn't about Jane Goodall. It was about Diane Fossey.
What? Diane Fossey? Not.
Yeah.
That's not right. See, this doesn't even look right. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah, I
What the
remember red
hell?
stripes.
His red stripes are now missing. Yeah. And this is one of those ones that has all the residue, like every costume and like artist rendering of this thing has the stripes, but he doesn't.
This is the 1917 recruitment poster. It looks like they just erased him off the hat.
Yeah.
Almost.
That is weird. Huh.
Another one, Britney Spears' skirt. Do you guys remember what it looked like? From her favorite, her
Baby,
famous,
baby, or hit me one more time.
yeah.
Wasn't it just like plaid, like a schoolgirl's?
That's what
skirt?
I thought.
It's now a plain black skirt. Yeah. Yeah. She has a lot of them. Like her famous video with the red leather.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her headset is now missing.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember talking about that one.
The Eagles, the band.
Mhm.
It's not the Eagles. It's just Eagles. There's no "the" in the front. Yeah, didn't that look weird? It doesn't even look
Yeah,
her
I thought it was blue
black
plaid.
shirt. Yeah.
Oh my
Weird.
gosh.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. So I'm assuming that when they decided to do this video, that they were kind of doing it as every dude's kind of wet dream, right? So you're gonna
Yeah.
stick those schoolgirls in a plaid
It's got to be
schoolgirl
plaid.
uniform.
It's not
Exactly.
Yeah,
with knee socks.
with
Huh.
knee socks. Yeah,
I don't know
Weird.
what it is about knee socks, but all guys like them.
they do. You bunch of weirdos.
We're. I am not going to lie. I will admit, men we're a little bit cracked.
Just
So
a little.
We're a little bit cracked.
Another one, the Disney movie Pocahontas.
Uh-huh.
Her eyebrows have changed. They were, like dark and thick, and now they're super thin and they're red.
Oh my gosh. That doesn't even look right.
Yeah.
That
Huh.
don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna have
Those
colors
are
of the
very
moon
well
stuck in my
sculpted.
head.
I'm telling you.
Star
Nah.
Wars C-3PO with the silver leg.
I remember that one. Enzo
Yeah.
said, let's be honest, there was a lot of fantasy involved with her videos. That dress could have been traffic cone orange. That's not what guys were looking at.
Nice.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
That's funny.
Horrible. The Cheshire Cat. He didn't say we're all mad here. He said most everyone is mad here.
But that's the whole thing. I've got that on artwork. We're
thought it
all
was-
mad here.
We're
Uh-huh.
all quite mad
Never
here.
said it. Yeah, he said most
'Cause he
everyone
says-
is mad here.
Because he said, I'll let you in on how does he say that? I'll let you in on a secret or something. We're all mad here. How does he say it? I can't remember the exact wording, but
I thought it
I
was
know
we're all mad. We're all quite mad here.
We're all
Is
mad
how I
here.
remember it.
Yep. The famous photo of the Thunderbird in Tombstone, the old black and white photo from 1886, it doesn't exist. It was never printed. This photo that everyone remembers, that Old West, even though we knew it was probably a faked photo, of course, of the Thunderbird or the pterodactyl kind of thing hanging. You remember it, like they had a building behind them and they were all lined up with it?
Yeah.
That never
Here.
existed.
Let me grab this. This is a drawing.
Yeah, that's not, yeah, it's not even
It's just a drawing.
Yeah.
It
says photograph, but that is not a photograph.
No, that's a wood burn or cut.
Huh. So that never
Yeah.
existed now.
Yeah. Everyone remembers seeing it at some point in their life.
Well, it even
But
says photograph.
Yeah, no one can find it now. So
Weird.
That's weird. Yeah, that is weird.
yeah. Let's see here. Oh, here's the Last Supper one. The cup has moved, and so has the loaf of bread. So this was my last one. So in this one, we had only gone that far. The cellist hadn't completely left yet. So there's proof right there. This is from 2003. So it's changed since then.
I can't
Let's see here.
This stuff baffles me. I mean, it just
I know.
really does.
Oh, here's another art one in the creation of Adam, Michelangelo's from the famous ceiling. God's hand is now lower than Adam's hand in the famous painting where they're almost touching.
Ian says that's got a big Smithsonian written all over it.
Right?
Word.
He's our people for sure.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so here it is. Oh, come on. There we go. Huh.
Yep. It's now lower than Adam's. Why is he lower than Adam?
He should be
Hmm.
higher.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's
It's really strange. Here's another Alice in Wonderland one. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Do you remember
Mhm.
what they had on their heads?
Propellers.
Nope. They had a
didn't?
flag. Yeah, that's not right, is it? They had propellers.
They
But
had
now they have flags.
propellers. Oh, they do have flags. That is so weird.
Yeah, it's strange. Look at that. Doesn't that look wrong?
yeah. I always remembered it with little propeller hats, striped propeller hats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Huh.
Now it's completely wrong.
That's weird.
How bizarre!
Bob Lazar.
I remember that song. Damn it! Now it's gonna go through my head all night. That's all I'm gonna think.
Bob Lazar.
How bizarre!
Oh, how many arms does Shiva have?
8. Is it 8?
I thought it was 6.
You're both wrong. Now Shiva only has 4. Yep.
What the hell?
Uh-huh.
That's not right because there's some where she has them above her head and then they're down in the ohm. And I know it's not just above her head and in the ohm. And this even doesn't have that because there's holding the Triton. Huh.
Yeah, I don't. I thought I remembered 6, but
Hmm.
That's weird.
Yep.
And that's on study.com.
Yep. We talked about the dollar symbol now only has the one line in it
That used to have
instead
the
of the
2.
2. Yeah. The Seven Dwarves, here's another Snow White one. Their song that they used to that they sing,
Hi ho,
hi ho, hi ho.
It's off
What did
to
they
work
sing?
we go.
Yeah, they don't sing that.
Hey ho, it's off
They
to
say
work we go.
it's home from work we go. Uh-huh.
Enzo said the Shiva statue at CERN has 4 arms.
Yep.
Okay.
They have 4 arms.
I
Yep.
distinctly remember 6. It's
Yep.
not like I ever met her or anything, but
Here's a crazy one that drove us nuts when we did this the last time. So the famous radio broadcast in 1931 of the War of the Worlds, the famous one that got broadcast out. They claim now that there was no mass panic.
we
I missed
studied
that. I
that
was
in
looking
high
at this.
school. There was
I
a mass
know.
panic.
Are you talking about
There-
1984?
No,
What are you talking about?
1938. The when they broadcast the War of the Worlds
War of the
over
Worlds.
radio.
Okay.
Yeah. They're claiming
that
now
was
that there
mass
was never
panic.
People
Yeah, they
turned
said
in the
it-
middle and freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that never happened.
Yeah, 100% it happened.
I know it did happen, but they're saying that it didn't.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that it was just a farce that somebody made up, that never actually happened. It played like normal and they thought it was a good show and that was it.
I don't remember.
I found the lyrics. And it is hi ho, it's home from work we go.
Uh-huh.
Right there.
Hmm.
That is
Yeah.
weird. That's the only
Okay.
reason anyone, right, Enzo? He said that's the only reason anyone remembers it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can even remember how it sounded. I did a pretty good imitation of it.
You did, yeah.
So,
Roll
and that's
call
one I
three.
watched. I mean, I remember that one.
Yeah.
On Sunday night after Merlin Perkins
Ah,
and Wild Kingdom.
that was the best, wasn't it?
Yes.
Enzo said, was there a going to work version and a going home? This is the song, Hi Ho.
There was just the one song.
Yeah. Oh, we can listen to it. Well, it won't play, will it?
It might. I don't know.
I don't know if we can
Try.
do it though.
Try it.
Will we get copyright infringement
Oh,
from Disney?
yeah. Let's don't
They
do
might
that.
attack us. I don't
Let's
want to
don't
be
do that.
attacked by Disney.
But his, yeah, see, here's the Hi Ho is the name of the song. We dig, blah, blah, blah. Hi ho, it's home from work we go. Home from work we go. Home from work we go. Home from work. Yeah, it's just home from work.
Yeah. Which doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Yeah. You're right, Enzo.
Literally.
I don't want to get attacked by a bunch of Disney princes. Oh, wait. No, I don't really want to get attacked by a bunch of Disney
No.
princes.
I think it would be the lawyers, not the princesses. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, you see some of the people they've been hiring.
I just burst your bubble, didn't I?
But yeah,
That's
Mandella,
interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, I encourage everybody to go out there and look at this stuff. It's highly entertaining.
It is. And then
It's-
it's highly irritating too.
Well,
Makes your brain itch.
Then there's the Febreze. I remember it
yeah.
as Fabrice, as fabric,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to be Febreze.
Yeah.
The
Now,
whole
a big one for me that just happened in the last couple weeks, and I was telling Pam about this, and I almost didn't bring it up tonight, but I'm going to do it because I don't know for who else this exists, and I don't want to. I'm just going to tell it and then say my apologies. So, in my timeline, as far as I know, the only time that we've had a major shuttle as a NASA shuttle explosion and deaths was, of course, the very famous one with the school teacher, the Challenger, when it exploded and we lost everybody on board when it was taking off, right?
Mhm.
Exploded, blew to pieces. I remember watching it on TV. I was so scared because when I was very little when it happened and I thought somebody had blown it out of the air. I didn't realize at the time that it could explode on its own.
I watched it in college.
Yeah. Just here in the last couple of weeks, I saw someone talking about another explosion where they lost an entire crew with a female in it. And at first, I thought they were talking about the Challenger. And I went back and checked and found out that back in was like 2011, we lost a different shuttle on
Mhm.
re-entry. It
Yes, I
exploded
remember
and
that.
like now here's
It burned
something
up.
for you guys. And I can't imagine
2003.
Oh, 2003? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I can't
wait.
imagine.
It was retired in 2011. Sorry. I'll quit interrupting.
Okay. I can't imagine that I would have coasted over this. Now, I do remember at that time period that they were finding debris, but in my timeline, it had been a satellite that had accidentally left orbit and re-entered, and it was scattering itself all over Texas, and they were picking up bits and pieces from it, and someone had gotten hurt from a piece falling. That's what was in my timeline. In my timeline, that was the only huge one we ever had, was the Challenger.
Hmm.
No, I actually remember the second one. What was that one? Was that
It was the Columbia in 2003.
Columbia?
Yeah,
Uh,
the Columbia.
I remember it burning up, and they actually found a few charred bits of remains.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've since when I saw that, I went and read up on it, completely flabbergasted because I was like, there's no way that I've missed this. This was
Mhm.
something huge. I don't remember any memorial services. I don't remember news of it on TV. I remember news of them finding scraps of stuff that in
Mhm.
my head was from a satellite that had plummeted out of orbit.
Hmm.
So I don't know if I can't imagine that I missed that, that I
So
would
what
have
this
missed any of
says
that.
is the space shuttle program was retired in July 2011 after 135 missions, including the catastrophic failures of Challenger in 1986 and Columbia in 2003, which killed a total of 14 astronauts.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't that second one never happened for me.
Hmm.
I can't imagine that I missed it. How did I miss it?
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
I
and
Yeah.
honestly don't remember it
it
either.
happened in my
Yeah.
timeline for sure because I
See,
remember the
Pam says
details.
she doesn't really remember it. How do we not remember something so catastrophic
I don't
happened?
know because the Challenger stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
Challenger stuck in.
I can't imagine. I don't know how that passed me by. And the only excuse I have is that it's a Mandela for me.
Hmm.
Obviously not Mark, but it
Maybe I
seems to
just
I
be a
wasn't
I know.
paying
Mandela for me.
attention at the time, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
how do you miss that? Like,
I
the
don't
whole
know.
nation
Yeah.
should have just been in mourning over
And
this.
yeah, you would think.
Especially
I
because
don't
I
know.
went back and I read exactly what happened, like, minute by minute, what they assumed happened to the
Hmm.
astronauts inside. It was freaking horrible what happened, you know?
Hmm.
I don't know how, like, I could have gone
See,
through life and not known.
the
and
only
we
two that
had this
I
huge deal
recall.
about the heat tiles and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how they came. One of them came unglued, and they determined that a piece of foam came off the.
That was off the
Mhm.
Challenger, right?
That was off the second one. The foam came off
Yeah.
and
The
hit the
Challenger
belly.
had a bad ring.
Yeah, that
Is
was a
that what?
bad
Oh, that's right. That's right.
bad O ring.
Hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
The,
But, yeah,
the ones
my
that I
apologies
remember,
to the families, and the relations of the people on that second crew. I am not,
yeah, I
um,
don't recall either.
tra yeah, I'm not changing their deaths into some kind of a farce for myself. I'm just saying that I have no idea how something that
How I
extreme
missed,
for our
yeah.
nation just passed me by. How does that happen?
The only two that I recall that anything happened was the Challenger, and then
Mhm.
the one where they never left the launch pad. Where
Yeah, they couldn't get the door
they
back
died on
open
the
and
yeah, they died on the
Yeah,
launch
the
that
pad.
one was
fire.
Apollo 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. See, those are the two that I
Yep.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
It's just
I remember both of them.
Hmm.
So
yeah. Just I wanted to put that out there because
But
it's different for everyone.
when Mark's
Everyone has
talking about the
different.
everybody say
tiles.
hi to Gary.
Oh, hi, Gary.
Oh, hey, Gary.
So
Yeah, I was in school. I remember watching, I think it was either it was 86, so I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
We were standing in the library and they were playing it on TV, and then it burst into, it just blew up, and we were just
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh.
we had a trainer TV because I was in electronics school at the time. We had a trainer TV where the guts of the TV were all over this big table, and then the screen was sports, so we could work on it and whatnot. And we had it tuned into that. We were watching it while we had our lab, and we all kind of
Mm.
stopped to watch the launch because it was still exciting to watch the launches. And I we were flabbergasted. I remember,
Yeah, it was awful.
but
And one of
yeah,
our teachers in our grade school, Mr. Warnock, he got down to, I can't, was he in like the top 50 or something for the teacher that was going to
Mhm.
go up in space? Yeah.
Yeah.
He got pretty close. Oh,
Yeah,
you're a
with the
baby,
rolling
Gary.
TVs. Yeah.
First grade. Oof.
Yep. But yeah, I remember both those, and I remember. I mean, I don't actually remember Apollo 1, but I remember learning about it because
Yes.
I was born in '67, so
But I will tell you this, Mark. I do, when you were talking about the tiles
yes,
and the foam, I do remember that. So was that on Columbia?
that was on Columbia
Then I do have some recollection of it.
because they made a big deal. And they
Yeah.
had to figure out how to secure the tiles better, before they had any more launches.
So I
And
do
they
do
didn't have
remember the
that many
tiles.
after that. After they finally got everything fixed,
Mhm.
because you got to
See,
remember.
I was going to say it's really interesting for me because I remember there being debris, but in
Mhm.
my head it was from that downed satellite. And I had remembered one story in particular where they'd found a piece of it on someone's roof. And I found that story again, but it completely talks about the Columbia now and
Huh.
not. So that's changed for me. It's so strange. I can't imagine, like I said, I can't imagine that something like that would have passed me by that I wouldn't have known.
Enzo said I'd graduated basic training and was en route to my tech school. When we stopped the bus for lunch, we found out it blew up that morning. Wow.
Oh wow.
So
Mm.
yeah,
He graduated basic training already? You're old.
he's younger than me.
Oh, sorry.
Whoops.
You're both old.
Hey, I'm just a little bit younger than Mark.
Oh goodness.
Enzo said the debris from the Columbia was all over East Texas and West Louisiana. Wow.
Yeah, see, I remember that. Like they were
Mm.
finding stuff all over Texas, but it's so like I still can't really make that connection in my head. Like it's not working for
Huh.
me. So I know something's amuck, at least in my line, I think. Mandela is so weird.
It is.
It is,
It
yeah.
is.
And
So,
what's crazy is how quickly the new ones are popping up all of a sudden. What does it mean?
Well, the CERN kicked back up
CERN's
this
running
summer.
this year.
That's true.
CERN's been running
Yep.
all year.
Enzo's tech school was how to chip flint arrowheads. Burn.
I actually remember when they invented dirt.
Oh wow.
We had to learn how
It's
to ride and
amazing
shoot from
invention.
horses. Oh, goodness. Let's get deep in here.
Uh-oh.
I remember
Back in my day.
back in my day. Yes, ma'am. You had to walk uphill to school both ways. Yep,
We didn't have air. We used to breathe rocks.
exactly. Exactly.
We
And
breathe through
cars,
our
they
gills.
look just like the Flintstones. Yep.
Have you guys heard that?
guys
So
are
I
funny.
can't remember who talked about this, but they were like, hiccups is supposedly something left over from your brain thinking that you still have gills. So the next time you get hiccups really bad, just remind yourself you don't have gills and you'll stop hiccuping. And I was like, that's hilarious. Surely that will work. So Ginger remembered that and she tried it and she was like, it worked. And she said, I thought it was just a fluke and it's worked 3 times now. And I was like,
Oh my goodness.
that's wild.
I mean, there is a short
Pepperidge
period
Farm
of time
remembers.
you have gills while you're developing in the womb, I believe.
So I guess the next time you get the hiccups, remind yourself you don't have gills and see if it works.
Okay, it's weird.
And report back. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Weird.
Because it worked for Ginger. So I don't know.
Okay, everybody at home, you have homework.
Yes.
You have to report back in if you get the hiccups.
I don't get the hiccups very often.
Well, oh, I don't either, but when I do, they hurt, man.
Mhm.
They're terrible.
All right, guys. I
Yeah.
don't really have anything else. Do you guys
We've devolved into gill-ridden
into
hiccups. So
Yes.
into Nutty Land? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And it's time for Jess to go take another shot of NyQuil. So
I understand it.
Have a hot
Mark
toddy.
is Mark is looking for some meds before he goes to bed. His eyes are starting to swell.
Oh no,
So,
that's not good.
no.
It's all good. Well, I want to thank everybody who is in the chat with us tonight. Thanks for dropping by, and
Yeah.
we will see you next time on the Fringe. And next week we're going to have a new episode of
Yes.
What If Tomorrow and a new episode of Border Town Strange.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, a big
we look-
one.
Yeah.
So yeah, just so everybody at home knows, join us at Bordertown Strange because Mark's gonna be there and Brian Terrell's gonna be there, and we're getting together a whole bunch of our podcasting friends, and we're gonna have a big Christmas party. We're gonna
Yes.
wear crazy Christmas outfits and bring our favorite drinks and our favorite ghost stories, and play some notebook games and just have a wild, raucous time before we go dark. That'll be our last show before January. So. Yay!
Yep.
It should be fun.
Yay.
And hopefully
Enzo
I'm not
shall be
seeing-
there.
Drinking may be involved.
Yeah, Enzo
Yes.
will be there, and I'm roping everybody in right now. So hopefully we'll have a full
Woohoo.
house.
Oh,
podcasters
Mark's
in.
Mark's bringing the liquor.
I got us covered
Yay!
Woohoo.
Woohoo!
because I'm classy. This is how I roll.
This is how you turn.
That's right.
So I got a golden ticket. Yeah, good
He
night,
did.
Ian, and good night, Gary. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for
I
hanging out
appreciate
with us.
everybody stopping
And
by.
Chris. Yeah.
All right. Well, I you guys don't have anything. I'm done. I've got I'll play the song out.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.